The hunter will receive so many new changes in Mist of Pandaria. We are talking about new glyphs, abilities, and even talents. In Cataclysm, you only had to focus on hit, but in Mist of Pandaria, you will now also need to focus on achieving a decent amount of expertise to make sure your ranged attacks are not being dodged. This is why some of your PvP equipment will also provide this stat. But the good thing is that since you're using ranged attacks, your attacks cannot be parried, and therefore you won't need to be behind the target. Another major change is that now you'll only be using a ranged weapon. You would not like to equip melee weapons, as you will then not be able to use your gun, bow or crossbow. Another positive change is that now you can shoot at no matter what range, yeah, even if you were, for example, in melee range. This is honestly such a massive change, and it makes the hunter gameplay even easier, as you don't really have to focus on using melee abilities. A minor glyph to also be looking out for is this. It allows your pet to be looting at range, so you don't even need to move to the corpse yourself. And because we also have AoE looting in Mist of Pandaria, then it makes looting a lot easier and also gold making. For those of you that would like to celebrate something, Glyph of Fireworks gives you a new ability where you'll be shooting fireworks in the air. It doesn't really do anything besides an illusion or well, this animation. In Cataclysm, Rapid Fire was a 5 minutes cooldown. In Mist of Pandaria, it has been reduced to 3 minutes. Your Revive pet is also going to be casted a lot quicker, and this is no matter the specialization, so it's not like you have to play as Beast Mastery. But talking about a BM Hunter, Kill Command now has a 25 yards range instead of 5 yards like it used to be. This allows your pet to deal a decent amount of damage even before reaching the target, and remember you can always increase your pet's damage by activating your Bestial Wrath. Instead of having a 2 minutes cooldown, it now only has a 1 minute cooldown. By the time you reach max level, you can pick between 3 different talents. The first one being Barrage. This is where you quickly fire a lot of attacks to all nearby enemies. So you can use it to deal a lot of cleave damage, and you can even move at the same time. The biggest downside is that there's a chance that you'll break nearby CCs or even pull nearby enemies. Next up is Powershot, and I mainly use this in PvP, basically because not only does it deal a lot of damage, but you can also use it to knock back a target. Not really that useful in PvE situations, but in PvP it can even guarantee you a kill if there's an enemy you can for example shoot down a mountain, or well, to be taking a lot of fall damage and simply end up dying. The last level 90 talent is Glaive Toss. This is where you'll be firing 2 glaives towards the target, and it will deal damage to that target but also all nearby enemies. It will slow their movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds, but also when the glaives are going back to the hunter. I usually don't play with this talent that often, mainly because I don't like the damage it deals, and 30% slow isn't that great. But the positive thing is that it's only a 15 seconds cooldown. That being said, I'm not saying it's a completely wasted talent. I mean, Barrage, yeah, it is fun to use, but then again, you can also do so many mistakes. I mean, I've seen so many hunters do things in heroics, where they, for example, ninja pull every single creature, and in the end, it could result in a wipe. But then again, it is a very fun spell, or well, ability to be using. In Cataclysm, we got Camouflage. In Mist of Pandaria, this can now also be used in combat. When you use it in combat, it will last for 6 seconds. As a BM Hunter, you will get this new passive, Beast Glaive. Every time you use your multi-shot, your pet will also be dealing damage to any nearby enemies, and this will last for 4 seconds, but the good thing is that your multi-shot has no cooldown, so you can simply just keep activating this to cleave with your pet. As marksman, there's going to be a minor change to Chimera Shot. This will no longer be a 10 seconds cooldown, instead it's going to be 9 seconds. And as survival, you will be getting this new passive. Every time you deal damage with your Serpent Sting, you're going to be rewarded with 3 focus. But it also has a 3 seconds cooldown, so it's not like you can spam your Serpent Sting on every single target to quickly regen a lot of focus. Talking about focus, Cobra Shot will also grant you 14 focus instead of 9 focus, and it can still only be used as survival and Beastmaster. You should also look forward to Trueshot Aura. Every single specialization will have access to this passive, so it's going to be a pretty nice buff in dungeons and raids. By the time you reach level 87, you will unlock this new ability no matter the specialization. It's called Stampede, and it will summon all your pets for 20 seconds. They will deal a high amount of damage, but if you use it in PvP situations, in battlegrounds and arenas, you will deal a lot less damage. Wing Clip, Parry, Raptor Strike and Aspect of the Wild has been removed, and other spells has been moved into different sections where they're going to be gated behind a specialization. Your pet talent tree will also be a lot easier, or well, there's no longer a talent tree. Instead, you'll just have to focus on one of these specializations. There's going to be 2 for damage dealing and 1 for tanking. And what you should choose all depends on the pet you prefer to use. Talent tree wise, well, there's also going to be many changes to these. At level 15, you can for example reduce the cooldown of your disengage and deterrence, but you can also pick another talent where you will increase your movement speed by 60% for 8 seconds when you use your disengage. And the last one, this is one I really like in PvP situations, but also when I need to stack enemies together. Just make sure to stack them together before you activate your disengage, as there has to be within 8 yards of the hunter. At level 30, you can choose this old Beast Mastery talent that will stun the enemy for 3 seconds. A Vivan Sting that used to be in the survival tree. This will CC the target up to 30 seconds. In PvP, it's going to be a lot less. Or this new ability, Blinding Shot. It's an arrow you will shoot on the ground and it lasts for 10 seconds. All nearby enemies will then be hit with a debuff, and if they continue to move, they will simply be stunned for a short duration, allowing you to easily trap them or even use your disengage to root them in place. At level 45, you can choose Spirit Bond. This is a passive that slowly heals you and your pet for 3% every 2 seconds. It used to be in the Beast Mastery tree. Aspect of the Iron Hawk. This will replace your Aspect of the Hawk and instead also reduce all damage taken by 10%. Or the last option, to instantly heal you for 30% and your pet for 100%, but it also has a 2 minutes cooldown. At level 60, you can get Thrill of the Hunt, a passive that makes you have a 30% chance that whenever you use a ranged attack that costs focus, you will also reduce the focus of your next 3 arcane shots or multi-shots by 20 focus. Dire Beast, a powerful beast you will be summoning for 15 seconds. This deals a high amount of damage and also grants you focus. It has a 30 seconds cooldown only. The last option is where you instantly restore 50% focus to you and your pet and an additional 50 over the next 10 seconds. And it also only has a 30 seconds cooldown. At the level 75 tree, you have the Lynx Rush, an instant ability that has a 1.5 minutes cooldown. If there's multiple targets, your pet will charge between these and do damage to all of them. Blink Strike is an instant attack that will deal 50% increased damage, and it can also be used from 30 yards away. It will even teleport your pet behind the target. And the last option, a Murder of Crows, a 2 minutes cooldown that also lasts for quite a while. It will summon all these crows and they will slowly deal damage. Pretty insane if you're mainly just focusing on one target, for example a boss encounter. You might also have noticed that my ranged weapon has an enchant. If you manage to get to a high amount of arena rating, you will also be able to purchase a PvP enchant for your ranged weapon, and it gives you an amazing illusion. Alright, so I hope you're looking forward to be playing Hunter in Mist of Pandaria Classic. I'll be covering all the other classes anytime soon, and of course also post a lot of other Mist of Pandaria videos. So if you're looking forward to those, or well, simply just interested in this upcoming expansion, then make sure to subscribe to the channel to get notified the next time I post a new video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Peace.